Hi everyone, Michael from Infinikey here. Thank you for joining the channel. And today, I thought we'd do something a little bit different. Ever since starting this YouTube channel a few weeks ago, I've been getting a lot of questions, especially in my personal life, from friends and family asking what are mechanical keyboards and if they're right for them. So today, I thought I'd share a bit of my own personal story, getting into the hobby, discovering it, and it ultimately becoming my career and livelihood. And hopefully this shines a light on why so many people are excited about this hobby and what it might be able to do for you in your personal and professional lives. Let's get into it. Just to go over my history briefly before getting into the space, about 3 years ago, I was helping get a startup off the ground. And as you can imagine, I spent an exorbitant amount of time on a keyboard. And since we were going from conference to conference or different events or working at a co-working space as a startup, I was primarily working on my MacBook Pro at the time. And after working on that keyboard or that laptop for 10, 12 hours a day, I could start to feel real pain. At first it was discomfort, and then it became shooting pain in my fingers, wrists, and forearms in particular. It got pretty bad, and I realized, okay, I have to switch it up somehow. If it's happening to me, it's likely happening to somebody else. So after researching online, I learned all about ergonomics. I started to learn terms like mitigating desk injury, any injury that you could suffer by working at your desk for too much. This has been common since the typewriter days because people would develop RSI or repetitive stress injury or develop arthritis, putting a lot of strain on the parts of your body whilst sitting or working at a desk. And funny enough, I started by focusing on things or everything around the keyboard, not the keyboard itself. Because in the beginning, I assumed incorrectly that a keyboard is a keyboard. Everybody uses one. There's one on your laptop, there's one at your desktop. And in my mind, there couldn't be that much difference between keyboard A and keyboard B. Luckily, I was wrong, and I discovered from my first keyboard purchase, the Microsoft Sculpt. You can see here, after about 6 to 8 months of intensive use, you can see the material wearing away where the wrist hits the keyboard. It's not dirt, I promise. I cleaned this keyboard fairly often when I was using it. And you can see here how the design of the keyboard is meant to reduce some strain on your arms and general body. But still, the pain wasn't really going away, and I also realized the typing experience wasn't that great. And again, I thought if I'm having this issue, someone else is having it as well. So I asked some of my friends who work in tech and are coding 24 hours a day, and they asked me, have you seen mechanical keyboards? Of course I haven't. And so the first mechanical keyboard I ever laid eyes and hands on was a friend of mine's Ergodox. I'll throw a picture up on the screen. It, as you can imagine, was a complete surprise. It's split, it's orthogonal, it's staggered, it is tented, and as soon as I used it, I knew, okay, I've got to try out mechanical keyboards. I hopped on the mechanical keyboard subreddit, which my friend pointed me to, and I learned about everything. I spent days and weeks learning about switches and keycaps and different keyboards and formats and different materials used in those keyboards. And it was fascinating. It was a wonderful hobby to get into, and I made my first purchase with a hot swap mechanical keyboard. And shortly after that, I started to purchase and assemble different types of mechanical keyboards with different switches, different weights, different keycaps, made of different materials, and I started to obsess over refining my perfect keyboard, or at least a number of keyboards that I could use on a daily basis that would be enjoyable, sound great, look great, etc. I really spiraled into this hobby, as many do. And to no one's surprise, the wrist pain started to go away. I didn't go full Ergodox, split ergonomic keyboard like my friends, but even the traditional mechanical keyboards that I was looking at and purchasing did enough to reduce the strain on my body. And even on top of that, which is something that you couldn't do with the Microsoft Sculpt, you could customize it. And I really started to think about what the perfect keyboard for my needs are. It solidified my emotional investment, and financial one, frankly, into this community. Of course, you can see here I've built and acquired many different keyboards over the last few years. I started to learn about things like different formats, What's the difference between a 60% that is great for gaming, or 75% and a TKL that is my personal favorite, or a full-size keyboard that I use for especially working on Excel sheets, different kind of number-based work where the numpad is essential to getting the job done. I started experimenting with sounds and feeling. There are plates and components that give you a bit more of a cushier feel or a stiffer feel. And I started to tailor my work and basically desk lifestyle around different types of keyboards and planning my keyboards based on the intended use of them in my daily life. And since then, the space has absolutely exploded. There are new designs for keyboards, keycaps, and switches every week, and it's just a fantastic time to get into the space. It really, for me, has checked off all the boxes. Again, back to my original story, it's completely eliminated all pain in my wrist. I know that's an anecdotal experience, but I can tell you that over the past 2-3 years, I have not felt any strain, and I'm working more than ever on a computer. There's the fun factor, of course, being able to customize, choose and pick designs, even start to design keyboard components on my own. Now that we have the company Infinikey, it is extremely exciting to see our designs or the designs of collaborators come to life on a keyboard. And we're sure to see the keyboard industry expand even further into esports, into education, into professional life, into lifestyle and fashion in general. We're going to see keyboards become more of an integral part of not just, a tool that people don't think too much about, even though they use every day, but as a fundamental aspect of their self-expression. And it's especially true for someone like me in this space. It has allowed me, even in a time where I'm spending most of my days working and playing from home, to connect with hundreds and thousands of like-minded individuals around the world. One browse through the Mechanical Keyboard subreddit and you'll see millions of people engaging on their builds or excited about the next product down the pipeline. It is a fantastic community to be a part of. And that's the community we welcome you to be a part of. Our role at Infinikey is to help that community thrive, to offer new exciting products, and help fit mechanical keyboards as a primary solution, not an afterthought, into your office life or into your company or into your brand. I'm personally really thankful to the community and the industry at large, not only for the work that I do now, but also for all of the help and engagement that I've gotten out of the community. And I hope to give back by being someone who can introduce keyboards to more people and introduce them to every aspect of your life. So on behalf of our team at Infinikey, thank you so much for watching this video and supporting us. If you have any questions about the general space, make sure to comment below. We might make a video out of it. And tell us your story about discovering keyboards. Did you discover it through a streamer like Teja Types, or a storefront like The Key Company, or Candy Keys, or Novel Keys? How did you find the space, and what has your experience been coming into mechanical keyboards? I'm really curious. Share with us below. And until next time, this is Infinikey. Oh, before I forget, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks, everyone.